Yeah, that's right. Fan Diction. Alexa, read me Pounded by the Biker Rainbow come to life.
Pounded by the Biker Rainbow come to life. Gay Paranormal Romance MM by Max Wood. Reading from Kindle. Wow, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it, Saul admitted as he grabbed the penis bong and turned around, bending over to plant the pipe back into his bag. Kurt couldn't help but notice the hippie's lean ass in his wet cargo shorts. You know, if you take those shorts off they could dry in the sun for a little bit, the Rainbow deviously suggested as his new hippie friend grew nervous. I don't know, Saul recoiled as suddenly he felt the shorts swept from his legs in an instant and blowing against the cave entrance. Kurt had swiped them anyway. Saul covered his exposed manhood as the Rainbow laughed. I know this is weird, but you're really doing something for me, Kurt admitted as the giant rainbow shimmered in the sunlight. What do you mean, man? Saul asked naively. You know, you're making my stripes hard if you get my drift, Kurt explained. Must just be that big hit I took, but damn, the Rainbow finished as suddenly a purple transparent stripe broke from the rainbow mass and descended towards Saul's hairy pale hippie leg. Whoa, man, Saul said as he felt the warm merry sensation crawling up his smooth thigh, and he felt the hippie humper beneath his cupped hands growing into a hardened rain stick. Yeah, it Kurt hissed as Saul felt the humid warm air along his body. The hippie couldn't help but feel that the Rainbow had something to do with Rico. Kurt didn't seem to know anything about Rico, but perhaps this was simply how the afterlife worked. Saul wondered if it wasn't still Rico's spirit embedded in the Rainbow, and as the soft warm air lingered up his thigh, he swore he felt his dead hippie's touch more than ever. Rico, Saul breathed as his eyes fell shut. Saul remembered the many nights spent toking as their favorite vinyl spun, emitting smooth analog psychedelic grooves through the studio apartment's hazy atmosphere, and as Kurt's soothing rainbow fingers danced carefully up toward the crux of Saul's thigh, inching ever closer toward his lightly-haired love limo, the hippie exhaled in delight, but he was overcome with guilt, and quickly grabbed Kurt's rainbow wrist and pulled it away. Look, I believe in free love and everything, man, but I just can't, Saul said, defying even the hardening hippie head between his legs. It's fine. I only saved your life, and Kurt started as Saul quickly interjected. Yeah, well, you did a damn good job of saving Rico's. Man, Saul hissed as the Rainbow recoiled. Saul, I'm sorry. You wouldn't understand, Saul said, and the bare-bottomed hippie sat atop a rock and placed his head in his hands. It would be different if I knew you were Rico. But you're not. You're just Rainbow Biker, Saul sighed. Kurt grew defiant and his rainbow strip swelled in response to Saul's sudden petulance. Just some biker rainbow? Kurt growled. You know, I didn't ask to be a rainbow, Saul. On January 8 when I was turned into one, you can bet I was pretty fucking jaded, the Rainbow started in its deep and booming voice. And yeah, I spent months using whiskey and 90s grunge music to numb myself to the reality. But you know what? I got myself up and I found something I love doing, Kurt continued. So forgive me if you're too fucking good for a rainbow biker. The Rainbow's striped arms flailed. But it's all I can do from showering this whole damn world in rainbow tears. But I guess you couldn't understand that the Rainbow finally finished and turned from the frustrated hippie. But Saul was now standing with his hands over his bearded mouth and letting his peace pounder dangle in the mountainous gusts. Did you say January 8? Saul whispered as he looked up at the Rainbow, teary-eyed. Yeah, and Kurt responded frankly. My friend Rico died here on January 8th, Saul started. He fell to the basin and, when I found him, there was a rainstorm and, oh man, Saul was beside himself as Kurt looked down and noticed the hippie's fleshy peace pipe bobbing hard in the air. You are Rico, Saul said at the peak of his revelation as a single hippie tear drizzled down his dirty cheek. Kurt sighed and the Rainbow lowered its airy arm around the mournful hippie. The horny Rainbow couldn't help himself from sliding that arm back downward and making a move for the hippie's dangling doo-wopper faster than a crowd of flower children moving toward a music fest. Saul let a groan slip from his warm and parted hippie lips as he felt the airy warm fingers gripping around his hardened shaft, reminding him of his lost friend's careful and soft touch. Rico had always caressed his skin with such attention, combing through the hair of his loins like a Japanese Zen gardener laboriously climbing toward enlightenment. And here now atop Indian's claw, Saul felt as though Rico and he could climb toward the pleasure mountain of peace, love and sunshine one last time. Kurt growled with approval as his rainbow fingers began to jerk the soft and somewhat dirty skin of the hippie's funky flopper. Do you like that, Saul? Kurt breathed with warm gusts of air that combed through the relieved hippie's brown hair. Yeah, man, Saul whispered as he felt the warmth between his lanky legs growing into a climatic crest, and he pulled Kurt's hand away. I can't do it. Not until you admit that you're Rico. Man, Saul said as his green eyes reflected the sparkly light of the biker rainbow. It's me, Saul the Rainbow breathed, feigning an attempt to convince the hippie of his dead lover's spirit. And as Saul looked at the rainbow, he felt as though he could almost see his Hispanic hippie friend sparkling in the colorful stripes. Take me, Rico, Saul whispered. I'm your bomb, Rico. Pass me, the hippie said in his newfound fit of intimate approval, and the striped meteorological phenomenon come to life lowered its colorful lips to his hippie lover's pleasure pipe. Saul grasped at the rocks and stones at his fingers, as the rainbow swallowed his length and he felt himself surrounded by the warm and humid suction. Kurt's mouth serviced the hippie wand as Saul's eyes rolled back and he braced for his release. Grow ubby. The hippie cried out as he fumbled for the bong and quickly drew in a major hit as the water bubbled at the base of his own pipe of pleasure. The hippie's legs jerked as he finally released and exploded his psychedelic sauce deep into the colorful striped formation. Kurt happily slurped the stoner's straw until he felt the throbbing weaken. My turn, the rainbow said as it grabbed the hippie's ass in a sudden turn of aggression and flipped Saul over until the ragged hippie was bent over the rocky stoop he'd been sitting atop. Oh man, this is so crunchy, Saul giggled as he grabbed the bong and his lighter, quickly taking yet another hit as he slumped over the rock. Kurt rose and suddenly the giant colorful rainbow hammer flopped down with a puff against the cliff top as the dust and small stones were brushed away from its force. Oh man, Saul said, looking back and wondering if he'd made a mistake, but the hippie could only giggle at the absurd sight that was closing in on his hairy hippie hump hole. Shit, yeah, the rainbow growled as it grabbed its striped cloud cock and slapped it against the hippie's ass. Saul had no
Alexa,
idea if the
stop. You dirty girl. See? Alexa's officially the best. Alexa, you're the best.
Thanks so much.
See, even she agrees. Subscribe. Also like and comment, whatever else you want to do.